Imagine this, it's 1995 in Cleveland. The cold wind from Lake Erie cuts through the streets. Fans in brown and orange fill Municipal Stadium one last time, not to celebrate, but to say goodbye. Their team, their Browns, are being taken away. Owner Art Modell announces he's moving the franchise to Baltimore. The news rips through the city like a storm. Generations of loyalty, heartbreak, and hope are suddenly meaningless. The Browns, one of the NFL's oldest and proudest franchises, are gone. The banners, the history, the roar of the Dawg Pound, all turned into ghosts overnight. But what if that never happened? What if the NFL never lost the Cleveland Browns? What if, instead of leaving, they stayed and became something greater? Let's step into that alternate timeline. The year is 1995. Art Modell, under financial pressure, is desperate for stadium funding. But in this reality, the city of Cleveland and the state of Ohio step up. A new deal is struck. A modernized lakefront stadium is approved, with public and private backing. The team stays home. Modell becomes a hero instead of a villain. The city breathes again. There's no heartbreak, no relocation, no empty Sundays. The Browns stay where they belong, in Cleveland. And here's where everything starts to change. The NFL landscape of the late 1990s begins to shift, because in real life, the Baltimore Ravens were born from the Browns' ashes, and within just 5 years they became Super Bowl champions. But in this alternate history, that roster, that core of legends, stays in Cleveland. Ray Lewis, drafted by the Browns. Jonathan Ogden, a Cleveland Brown. Ed Reed, Jamal Lewis, Terrell Suggs, all of them don the brown and orange instead of purple and black. The Dawg Pound doesn't vanish. It evolves into a force of nature. 1996 arrives, and the new Browns take the field. But this time, they're building a dynasty. Head coach Bill Belichick, who in real history was fired before the move, never leaves. He stays in Cleveland, now with a front office committed to long-term success. The Browns, led by Belichick's defensive genius, start drafting smart. Instead of becoming a footnote in NFL history, they become the league's next powerhouse. The combination of Belichick and Ray Lewis creates one of the most terrifying defenses ever assembled. The Dawg Pound becomes a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. By 1998, the Browns are unrecognizable, not as a struggling small market team, but as a contender. Belichick, now entering his prime as a coach, has his foundation. Ray Lewis anchors the defense. Ogden protects the blind side. The Browns draft a young, underrated quarterback out of Tennessee. Peyton Manning never ends up in Indianapolis because in this world the Colts' record looks different. Instead, the Browns, picking early in 1998, land their franchise quarterback, Manning, to Cleveland. The idea sounds wild, but in this timeline, it fits. The Browns' defense is elite, the fan base is electric, and the league finally has its northern juggernaut back. Cleveland explodes with pride. The city that never got its redemption finally sees Sundays that matter again. Municipal Stadium is replaced with a new state-of-the-art home on the lakefront, packed every week with fans who remember the near loss that never happened. The energy is different now. There's no bitterness, no relocation scars, just gratitude and fire. By 2000, the Browns are in the AFC Championship. Peyton Manning, Ray Lewis, and Bill Belichick, all in Cleveland brown, face the Titans in a brutal defensive war. The Browns win 2013 and head to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. The city of Cleveland erupts. Fireworks over Lake Erie, the Dawg Pound overflowing into the streets, tears in the eyes of fans who waited decades. In this reality, the Browns beat the greatest show on turf already, the St. Louis Rams, with Manning outdueling Kurt Warner. Cleveland, at last, lifts the Lombardi Trophy. And with that, the NFL changes forever. The Browns dynasty begins. Bill Belichick's reputation skyrockets years earlier. He's hailed as the next great mind before ever meeting Tom Brady. In fact, the Patriots dynasty never happens, because in this version of history, Belichick never leaves Cleveland, and Tom Brady never gets his chance in New England. The ripple effect echoes through every corner of the league. The Browns become the model franchise of the 2000s, known for toughness, intelligence, and identity. Their defense becomes legendary, their quarterback a symbol of leadership, their coach the gold standard of preparation. Baltimore, meanwhile, never gets its team. The Ravens never exist. The city waits years for expansion, and when it finally arrives, it's with an entirely different identity. Maybe the Stallions return, maybe something new, but the soul of that early 2000s Ravens dynasty belongs to Cleveland. Ray Lewis's fiery speeches echo across Lake Erie instead of Baltimore Harbor. The city that believed again becomes the NFL's most iconic story. By 2004, the Browns have built a true dynasty. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 championships, and a culture built on accountability and grit. Their fan base, long mocked as loyal losers, becomes the NFL's most feared 12th man. The Dawg Pound becomes a symbol, the loudest, proudest section in football. Cleveland becomes what Green Bay once was, a small market powerhouse with a massive national following. And here's the twist that hits hardest, the human side. Because in real history, Cleveland's heartbreak became generational. Fathers told their kids about the team that left, about the heartbreak that never healed. But in this timeline, that wound never forms. Kids grow up cheering for legends, not ghosts. The Browns brand becomes synonymous with loyalty, resilience, and rebirth. The NFL's marketing reflects it. From the lakefront to glory. By the mid-2000s, Cleveland's dynasty reaches its peak. Peyton Manning, now a 5-time MVP with the Browns, retires in 2012 as one of the greatest to ever play. The ultimate redemption story for a franchise once defined by heartbreak. Ray Lewis retires beside him, both men leaving as Browns legends, immortalized in statues outside the stadium. Bill Belichick, still sharp, transitions into a front office role, mentoring the next generation of coaches, Josh McDaniels, Eric Mangini, maybe even a young Mike Vrabel, all learning under the Cleveland system instead of New England's. The Cleveland coaching tree replaces the Patriot way. The cultural ripple effect is staggering. The city of Cleveland never becomes the punchline it was in the 2000s. The factory of sadness never exists. Instead, the Browns are a symbol of what small markets can do when given stability. LeBron James still arrives years later, but now he is not the city's lone savior. He joins a sports town that already knows what greatness feels like. The Cleveland curse never becomes legend because it never exists. The Browns' success lifts the entire city's spirit and economy. The waterfront thrives. Football tourism floods downtown every fall. Cleveland Rocks isn't just a chant, it's the truth. And think about how that changes NFL rivalries. The Steelers-Browns matchup becomes the defining AFC North battle of the 2000s. Instead of one-sided beatdowns, it's legendary duels. Manning versus Roethlisberger, Ray Lewis versus Jerome Bettis, Dawg Pound versus Terrible Towel. The AFC North becomes the league's toughest, most-watched division. Primetime football lives there. The Browns aren't just survivors, they're the heartbeat of the NFL. As the 2010s roll on, the legacy solidifies. The Browns remain competitive, never bottoming out. They're the team every player dreams of joining. A franchise where loyalty is rewarded, history is sacred, and greatness is expected. The team builds new stars, a mobile quarterback to follow Manning's era, a new core of defenders trained in the Ray Lewis tradition, and a head coach molded by Belichick's blueprint. The Browns standard becomes league doctrine, smart drafting, relentless defense, disciplined offense. The kind of formula that every team tries to copy, but few can replicate. By 2020, the Browns are the NFL's flagship franchise. Their 6 Super Bowl rings rival the Patriots and Steelers. Their fan base spans continents, and the name Cleveland Browns carries weight again, not as a relic of heartbreak, but as the definition of legacy. The phrase "never lost, never forgotten" becomes the city's motto. Now step back for a moment and think about how much one decision changed. One stadium deal, one commitment to stay, one act of loyalty from ownership, city leaders, and fans, and an entire generation's story shifts. Because when you take away the move, you don't just keep a football team in Cleveland, you keep hope alive. The NFL never loses one of its cornerstone franchises. The city never loses its heart. and the story of the Browns becomes one of destiny fulfilled instead of tragedy endured. The Dawg Pound never went silent. It just kept barking. And the echoes of those cheers still roll off Lake Erie. In a world where the Browns never left, the curse never came, and Cleveland became what it was always meant to be: a city of champions. Because in this alternate timeline, the NFL never lost the Cleveland Browns, and football in every way that matters was better for it.